Hi guys, hey everyone. Okay, so I think the light is now okay, right? I was trying to adjust the light, okay, so that I can be clearer. How is everyone doing? Okay, so I just decided to come out live right now to give you the feedback of the events that were happening yesterday. And thank you so much for those of you who are here, always here. Thank you so much. And those who are seeing me for the first time, you're also welcome. Subscribe as we move into what I want to talk about. Okay. So you already know yesterday I was live. I shared some videos, but I know that the sound might not have been very clear. So I've decided to come out right now to talk about that. Okay. Now here's the thing. Yesterday was the 25th of October. We already know it is the SADC day, okay, the day that set aside, for SADC, to call upon the unconditional removal of sanctions from Zimbabwe. Of course, we know there were a lot of activities going on in Zimbabwe. We saw school children were marching. We saw different organizations, all marching against sanctions. And, around the world again, we saw different activities that were going on in China as well, at the Zimbabwean embassy, or, there were also some gatherings, everybody saying, well, let the sanctions go. But also, I also had the opportunity to interview the deputy director of African Affairs in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China. I had a one-on-one with him, and I'm going to share that video later. Okay, I interviewed him and to hear his views. Okay, now that being said, we know that these days social media plays a very, very pivotal role in information dissemination. Okay, now yesterday when this thing of sanctions must go was trending, was going on, we saw that there was a lot of talk. Like people are divided. Other people saying, well, the problems Zimbabwe is facing is not necessarily caused by sanctions, but it is caused by other things like corruption. Okay. While we are seeing other people say, no, sanctions must go. Now, also, I have observed that if you see like the people who say sanctions must go, automatically they are associated with being, in support of the government of the day. Okay. And those who are talking like they don't care about sanctions, or those who say sanctions have got nothing to do with the problems Zimbabwe is facing, are also, to a certain extent pushed to be, oh, these ones belong to the opposition party. So when you want to look at this issue, there's always a link to you belong to this party, maybe this is why you support it. You belong to this party, maybe that is why you don't support it. But now when we want to really look at the situation on the ground, I will still bring it back to you, my friends. What do you think about sanctions, imposed on Zimbabwe? What do you understand about them? Okay, now that being said, again, we saw that on Twitter again, the UK, okay, the embassy, the United Kingdom embassy in Zimbabwe issued a statement where they were saying that, well, for them, they believe that sanctions they imposed on Zimbabwe are targeted. Okay, they are saying the sanctions that they imposed on Zimbabwe are targeted on certain individuals, and they also stated that in their statement that only 5 individuals are on their list. Okay, they only have 5 people on their list and one entity. So then they gave the names of the people, like they said, Owen Ncube, Isaac Moyo, Godwin Matanga, Aslam Sanyatwe, and Kudakwashe Tagwirei are the 5 individuals who are on the UK sanction list, and also one entity which they said the Zimbabwe Defense Industries. So they say these are the only people that they have what? They have put sanctions on. Okay, so they're saying that the trade between UK and Zimbabwe is going higher every year after year. So they're saying, well, for them, it's not about about sanctions. It's for them. It's not about punishing the people of Zimbabwe. It's only for those targeted people that I have mentioned here. So this was a statement, issued by the British Embassy in Harare. I mean, of course, we saw this tweet, moving around, people sharing it, saying that, well, you see what we are talking about. We are saying sanctions are not the problem, Zimbabwe is facing, while others are saying, well, sanctions are the problem. If there were no sanctions, the economy of Zimbabwe maybe would be functioning. So I still bring back the question to you. What do you think about sanctions? Do you think they should be removed? No, for this meantime, just forget whether you belong to ZANU-PF, whether you belong to Triple C, just as a citizen, just as a Zimbabwean, or as an international citizen. What do you think about sanctions. Do sanctions yield the desired results? These sanctions that have been on Zimbabwe for over 2 decades, sanctions were imposed on Zimbabwe in 2001. Okay, towards the end of 2001, this is when they were signed in. So from that period up until now, we can see how many, almost how many, how many years, still they're there. So my question is, these sanctions, have they yielded the desired results? Why were they put on Zimbabwe? What were the intentions? What were the desired results with these sanctions? Have they yielded these intended results for the past 2 decades or more? This is the question I'm bringing back to you. And also, like we're saying that some people saying they are targeted. Do you think the people who were targeted by these sanctions are really suffering from these sanctions that were imposed on them? Are they not traveling? Are they not eating? Are they not living large? Let me know what you think, guys, okay? Because it's a very, very interesting debate. Because sometimes, when we are talking in many groups, we just sometimes we use politics overshadows everything, so that we end up sometimes not really looking at the issues as they are. Okay, now I want you to listen to what the Deputy Director of African Affairs in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said about the sanctions on Zimbabwe. Okay, as you know that China is always in support of Zimbabwe. Okay, their bilateral relations, and also how China USA relations are. And also remember that China is also facing its own issues, that are being handled, different issues that they also have with European countries, with the US. Okay, so let me just play for you what he said. This was the interview that I had yesterday. I just took a clip just for you to listen. Okay, because here the director was talking about, he was staying in South Africa. He stayed in South Africa working there, and he was talking about the influx of Zimbabweans into South Africa, and he was sympathizing with the people of Zimbabwe. Like, I've seen a lot of Zimbabweans in South Africa, doing all these menial jobs, living their families and everything. And he was also saying that it's all because of these measures that have been put on Zimbabwe. All right, so let me just play for you. Okay, and as I play for you, please don't forget to react to the video, to give support to me, to your girl. Okay, you can put your reaction. You can either put a thumbs down. Okay, thumbs down is allowed. You can put your thumbs down, or you can put your thumbs up. Everything is important on social media. On YouTube is important. So please put your thumbs down if you don't like the video, or put your thumbs up if you like the video. It's important. Okay, now listen.
On quite a number of issues. We know these sanctions could bring to the used to be a beautiful, well-being country into a status it is now.
I don't know if the
Face a
audio is
lot of
clear.
challenges on economic and social development. They degrading of its living standards for normal people, suffering of its Zimbabwe people. I've been working in South Africa for past 7 years. I see a lot of Zimbabwe people there working there, and they leave their parents, they leave their children to make a living in South Africa. But it's not their hometown. They feel the difference. The intelligence drainage, the industrialization vacancy has caused this country, a lot of suffering, and it caused a lot of suffering for normal people, for for poor citizens, and it caused a lot of damage to the life of the young generation. Zimbabwe used to be the most intelligent or most educated uh, manpower, and it used to call the breed basket for the duck. And now, it can't solve its food security issue on infrastructure when the others are catching up, and Zimbabwe was left behind. It's really terrible. That's the reason, China standing together and formally with African brothers and sisters. We use the United Nations as a kind of platform. We call on very strong voice to our developing friends countries, as our partners and friends, to echo our voice. And we even initiate a kind of, group actions at the United Nations on this lifting of the sanctions. I hope um, this effort can be echoed by more and more African countries and other developing countries. And it will also reach the ears of those people who impose actions. I also hope the people or the masses or the people, civilian people from those countries who can go to Zimbabwe and find this sanction really unfair and unjust.
Okay, so what he was actually saying, I'm not sure if the audio was clear. What he was talking about here, he was just trying to explain from his own observations when he was staying in South Africa, how the people of Zimbabwe were suffering. It was like they're suffering, there's too much brain drain and everything. And it was also assuming that everything is all because of, the economy not being good, and also because of these sanctions, okay, making it difficult for the Zimbabwean economy to grow when others around them they're improving. Okay, so these are some of the things that were spoken about yesterday. The meeting was long, a lot of speeches were made, but of course we cannot talk about those speeches because we already know these speeches have been. This is the fourth year running. Okay, this is the fourth year running of this event, and we are very certain that maybe we don't know when it's going to end. Okay, as long as the sanctions are still there, this kind of event is still going to be there. This is what they said. Okay, it's going to be there. All right. So now that being said, we saw that America is still, is still on it with the sanctions, and we saw that in September they renewed, they put someone else again on the list. They added someone again on the sanction list, a high-ranking police official from Zimbabwe was also added on the sanction list. Okay, so we don't know, but we're just following on it. But the most interesting thing is that out there's a huge debate that is going on where people are saying we as ordinary Zimbabweans, sanctions don't affect us. We are being affected by corruption. Okay, that is the number one thing that is affecting us, not sanctions. So let's not use sanctions, to run away from the problems that we're facing. But also, I was also engaging in another discussion where again others are, well, corruption is there, maybe, but why not remove the sanctions and see, and so that those who are engaging in corruption, they will not have anything to hide behind. Because if sanctions are there, everyone will just be pointing on sanctions, that sanctions are the ones causing this problem. So they're saying, why don't you remove the sanctions and let let us see these people for who they are. Let us see these corrupt people for who they are and see what excuse they're going to have, for looting. What excuse are they going to have for doing whatever they'll be doing? Okay, they're stealing, the poor governance and everything. But they say as long as there are sanctions, there's always something to hide behind. Okay, let me know what you think, guys. So this is all I wanted to share with you. But of course, later on, I am going to share with you more and more video clips of that I did yesterday. I did a lot of interviews yesterday, but some of them I will share them on another channel. Here, I'm also going to share more videos here. So thank you so much, guys. This is Ziki. And like I said, if you are new to the channel, why don't you subscribe and stay? And for those of you who are returning, you are all appreciated. Thank you. I really don't want to read the statements that they wrote now. It's not necessary. Ne? It's unnecessary. We already know what is being said there. We already know what is being said there. I don't think it's necessary for us to go through this statement. No need. Absolutely no need. But you guys, oh, I forgot. I almost forgot. I almost forgot. I'm going to share this one with you. Let me see. There is where is this video? There's a video. No. Okay, this is the video, I think. Yes. I want you to listen to this little girl.
The education sector is in Africa. High rates of students who are into blesser-blessee relationships. Why? Because we do not have a way to feed ourselves. We do not have a way to support ourselves to attain our education with dignity. Why? Because our parents, they are heavily impacted by the economy. And who is impacting the economy? These are the sanctions. Saka izvo zvirikuona zvichiti affecta pakuti tikapedza tikwanikwa chinogara kumba, not because kuti our government iri kufeila kuti itiwanise mabasa, because nyika kana ine masanctions nyika haikwanise kuti iende kumberi.
Takushaya mafees nokuda kuti maparents edu akaretrenchwa kubva kumabasa avo yashanda kumaziswa stew and Dunlop macompanies akawanda.
ZANU-PF Youth League.
Okay, so the first one that the girl was speaking, she was like, well, because of sanctions, now we young girls are now involved in blessee and blesser. You know the issue of blessee and blessers. Say because of sanctions, we are now engaging ourselves in the blessee thing because we have no money to take care of ourselves in the universities. Okay, and others saying, well, we have no jobs. Even if we graduate, companies have closed. There is nothing. Okay, anyway, guys, I need to leave. Okay, there's something I need to do right now. I'll be back later. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. Okay, thank you, guys. See you later. Okay, take care. Take care. I'm coming back later. I'll be live again. Then we can continue with the discussion, and of course, more news updates are coming your way. Until then, out. Ta-ra-ra-ra.